went in prayer, the Lord revealed to us that there was an evil altar that had been raised in church. Said, okay. Somehow, we got to know everyone who was on this altar. But prior to this, there was someone who was our interpreter in church. Some young, he was the interpreter that time. And we had spotted him in a lot of things in the spirit. And the most big thing that he was doing is that he was in adultery. My husband warned him several times and told him, I see you, your walk with God is not right. Put your life right. And he could smile and say nothing. And God sent some people who were also my friends to talk to him. They were not church members, but from where they were, they saw him. And he said, no, the immoral, that's the spiritual. He said that the adultery that God is talking about is this spiritual adultery, where you go from one pastor to another. But then I kept interceding for this man. And one time, something happened. We could see girls leaving church and we didn't know why. But you know, as you know them, they know their things. He was on the pulpit promising marriage to this one, that one. Then he says, we must sleep, you know, because we are going to get married. So we kept saying something is wrong, and we knew what was wrong, but we had never gotten any chance to get this person red-handed. I could talk to him, but I had not gotten something that I can stand on. And so the worship team was getting empty. You could ask someone left, what happened? This person, after dating this one, dumps, picks another one. The ministers. And what happened was that we had a friend who was not even born again. He had a big job, but this time he had lost his job. He was at home, a husband, very responsible husband. So he started coming to church. But this man was busy dating his daughter. So the daughter got pregnant. This friend of ours one time comes looking for me at home. We had just come back from one of the nations. And this time, we are building this new church. We are about to open the church, to launch it. So when he came here, pastor was very busy. He had my number. He decided to call. I told him, come home. So he brought this before me. My daughter is pregnant. The father, the person who did this, is your interpreter. I was shocked. I was shocked. Because I'd taken time on this man, his life, his personal life, his financial life, everything concerning him, his mother when she's sick, his family. Said, wow, how are we going to handle this now? When my husband came home, I told him, But then I did not get so surprised because I had seen things in the spirit. For a long time I wanted him to sit, but he was the only interpreter, the only person who could interpret. He had been brought in ministry by a certain pastor who had now gone to begin his own ministry. The one who was so close to me got angry. How can they even cast demons out of my husband to be in the presence of the congregation? Now I'm going to revenge. I'm going to revenge. They made their altar. They began praying for James to die. They made agreements which we saw. They made their covenants. They could meet and pray. I had a lot of things. Before we knew, they were now going out there. This man who's preaching righteousness, he has a child out of wedlock. This man who's preaching righteousness, every woman on the pulpit, he has gone out with her. Whatever now the other man was doing, now she had to revenge on me. That is what the husband is doing. They began moving places. But one thing I like about God, if someone falsely accuses you and you keep quiet, because as for me, God asked me to keep quiet, and I kept quiet. At one point he asked me, when Jesus Christ was on the cross, what did he do to those who were nailing him? Now I understood clearly that I was on my cross. And because I was on my cross, and my husband was also on his cross, so we had to carry the cross. And my husband had told me that God told me that if anything or anyone accuses you, never ever reply back. Never. Even my family, they told them not to talk to me because I'm no longer in my senses. So my family could not listen to me. My husband now fell sick. He just wanted to die. He said, I cannot stand this kind of shame when I'm innocent. I took him to hospital. He was admitted. I stood there in hospital alone. I attended to him. I looked after him. I came back home, carried a few things, went to hospital. I could stay awake day and night. He was so fearful. He was worried. And at this moment, one time he had a problem with ulcers. The ulcers also struck. It was a terrible moment for me. I say to myself, I'm going to treat my husband in hospital and I'll give him back to his people when he's well. Because when I met him, his people gave him to me when he's alive and well. They don't give me a sick man. Fortunately, he recovered. We went back home. He had to stabilize now. His spirit was low, but I remained on the altar. I remained on the altar. And on this altar, God could show me what is to happen, what was ahead of us. What was ahead of us is you here. God was showing me a lot of things. While he was telling me that it's time to go, I think I've done enough ministry. I told him, James, I don't want to ever hear this statement again, because I know you're not going to die. We have work to do. God's people are waiting for us. If you're seeing death, me, I'm seeing revival. God has shown me where we are going. I told him, you're not keeping. I don't want to hear this. In fact, you're defiling my environment. I've created the spiritual environment in this home. We have pain around us, but I'm not going to succumb to pain. We are going through a lot as a couple, but I'm not going to focus on anything except what God has told me and showed me. The rest I don't want to know.
To the Project Portal. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button, share and subscribe. If you go to this part of the video, then you can see that the woman has come out to expose the person or the people behind those allegations and those conspiracies, you understand, and those blackmails that they were using. And we believe it's one of the things that made Prayer Storm TV, bring down the video. And of course, because one of the videos and rumored videos that came out was the fact that he was being accused of having a child outside marriage. And before you see a woman come out to defend her husband like this, it's either number one, the woman is very, very spiritually inclined, knowing the sensitivity of the matter and the issue, and then trying to cover for the family, or to trying to stand in the gap. That's number one. Number two is either the fact that the woman knows the whole truth, you understand, because it's very difficult for a woman to come out, especially in the midst of when there's evidence, substantial evidence, to back the claim, and for the woman to come out and speak like this. It's either she knows the whole truth, and of course the way she explained it, they know the culprit, and they knew all the games and the gimmicks they played, you understand. And number three, every minister needs a woman like this that can stand by you mentally, stand by you physically, and also stand by you spiritually in hard times. You can see him saying Apostle James Kawalya was also weary of the whole situation and the fact that they were dragging his name on the mud. And we thank God for the wife standing strong and coming out to to talk to this issue and talk to this thing decisively. In fact, this time around she mentioned the names, although she didn't mention their name, but she mentioned the position, so people can actually point out to who is responsible for peddling the rumors that almost affected Apostle James Kawalya's ministry. But I thank God it made his ministry bounce back and bounce stronger, you understand. In fact, people have come to know the video, people have come to even rewatch the video, because that video was it was a deliverance video, you understand. The video really blessed lives and touched lives, you understand. Lots of people are still being blessed by that video, and that's just the truth. So the only challenge we had with Prayer Storm was bringing down the video in the first place, you understand. We feel that the video shouldn't have been brought down, because if the larger good was being looked upon, the video was not supposed to be brought down, because the body of Christ was being blessed by that video, you understand. If you have a problem with the messenger, deal with the messenger. A disclaimer video can come out that there are certain things that are going on, but you understand, we will leave the video on the platform, but we are trying to resolve certain issues and all that, not just outrightly bringing down a video and coming out to make a video that because of things that they were submitted and there were evidences and there were proofs and all that. We don't care even if we see Apostle James Kawalya and another woman, you understand. They are men, you understand. They, and not because they are perfect, not because they shouldn't or they should commit sin, but they are humans, you understand. They can fall, men can fall, you understand. If you have never fallen before, you don't know how to tell somebody how not to fall. If you have never fallen and risen back up again, there are certain people that you are not qualified to speak to. That's the truth, because you'll be coming from a point of perfection or a place where you have never erred. Do you understand? But they are men and they have like passions and they have weaknesses and they are humans. Do you understand? So we don't even care if he was found with somebody or he was, as long as he makes his way right with God. It doesn't tamper with the fact, it doesn't tamper with the oil, it doesn't tamper with the message that brought deliverance. You understand? There are many great men that eventually, during the course of the ministry, they fell to the trap of the enemy. You understand? That does not in any way now give us a license to erode. Do you understand? We are not the God that will do that. You understand? So we didn't really agree with Prayer Storm TV on removing the video totally, because 9 million people is not James Kawalya, Apostle James Kawalya. 9 million people or 9 million views is not Apostle James Kawalya. Those are 9 million souls or 9 million people that have been blessed, and of course more than 9 million people, because many people rewatch, many people watch together and all that. So we are looking at an average of 15 to 20 million people. A video that caused revolution, prayer revolution and revival, and it was just brought down that by this, because the devil looked for so many ways. When the videos came out, some people came out and said, some 2 white guys, they came out and they were like, he's a wizard, he's a witch. They tried to use the scripture, to nullify what he was saying and all that. It didn't work. This person came out and said, oh, this is a warlock, how will you be talking about night prayers? It didn't work. They said a lot of things while that video came out, but the heaviest one and the strongest one that they used was to now to go to Prayer Storm and make Prayer Storm now bring down the video. You understand? May the Lord help us. Let's just keep praying. If you are in this warfare ministry, you should know that you are going to face challenges, you're going to face attacks from the kingdom of darkness, and that is why there is need to always be on guard, stand your ground, and of course have a workforce and a prayer force and a prayer powerhouse, that will keep you going and keep you on your feet. This is the Preacher's Portal. If you're new to this channel, please hit the like button, share and subscribe.